Yes, in the studio we have, away from football, looking at fencing, we have the Vice President of Nigerian Fencing Federation, Richard Samuel. It's good to have you once again in the house.
Thank you for having me here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so we want to look at the impact of fencing in Nigerian communities because fencing is a sport that is fast growing, courtesy of the development of the Federation and what they've done. Before we look at the overview of that topic, tell us what fencing is, to the layman, to whoever watching us right now.
So fencing is a sport of two players who come into what you call a bout. So it involves weapons. There are three weapons in fencing: épée, saber, and foil. In Nigeria, we focus on épée, but we do have some foilists. And it's an elite sport to many, and it's also what you call a gentleman's sport, a strategic sport. It requires you to think with both your mind and your body as well.
So now let's not look at, a lot of people compare fencing with chess.
Yes.
And because of analytical thinking. How true is that?
It's very true. It's very true. Even in Google in research, they say fencing is the one sport that's comparable to chess. You have to think about your strategy, your next step, your move, your opponent, what they're going to do. So it requires a lot of analytical and critical thinking, as well as physical movement.
So yeah, now we not look at. We've gotten to a stage where everybody has to start talking about fencing, and how did we get here? Because I know it's a sport that we hardly see any sports journalists talk about, sports reporter talk about, but because of your effort and the effort of the Federation, you are here, and I'm talking about fencing. How did you get to this stage?
I discovered fencing quite late. This was around 2010. It was in schools, and I sort of had an attraction to it and wanted to help and support in its development. I saw the potential of it. I saw where it could go, and I saw the need for my inputs. And since then, we've been working with schools, both in the private sector and the grassroots sector. We've been working in different states in Nigeria. And our main focus is to increase the ecosystem of fencing and make sure that children, adults, men, women, fully abled and disabled, everybody gets involved in fencing.
Okay, now you've done that, and we are here talking about it. But the impact on communities, the lot of places you can check to look for where they play table tennis, football, its impact globally and all that. So what has been the impact? What have you done, the Federation, and also in your own way to make sure that fencing impacts our communities?
Oh, that's a good question. So myself and my team, I run what is called Feed Sports. Feed Sports stands for Fund, Educate, Empower, and Develop. It's a grassroots initiative from Nigerian Fencing, and it's focused on children from vulnerable communities, helping them to learn the sport and at the same time acquire sports scholarships for private education. We've been doing this now since 2017. We have our first hub in Lagos Island with a community of 12,000 students who are all interested in fencing, so we're taking them bit by bit. We have about 12 scholars in private tuition education in some of the best schools in Nigeria. So it's a joint effort. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of thinking, planning, marketing ourselves as best as possible, going out to companies, individuals, and everywhere to gather support and to build momentum. But it's paying off gradually.
Okay. Now, looking at Nigerians and Nigeria as a whole, what set of people do fencing attract on its own? Because we know football attracts all kind of persons, table tennis, all kind of persons. Basketball, I won't say all kind of persons, Or the other sports, golf, I won't say it attracts all kind of persons because of the nature of the sport. So the other sport in that category, also we're saying, does not attract all kind of persons. What kind of persons do fencing attract?
I would slightly disagree. I think with sports, people, especially young people, like maybe I agree. Young people are always attracted to sports, and fencing is very attractive. I think the main difference is that it does require tools and apparatus. So it requires you to have the weapons. It requires you to have the uniform. So the access is not as easy as just pick up a ball and I mean, you do have kids that play barefoot with football. With fencing, it just requires a little bit more to get you properly geared up and kitted. But it does attract because people are very intrigued. I mean, the grassroots community have very much welcome fencing, and anywhere we go, once we introduce it, people are always clamoring to try it out, and they're interested because it's an attractive sport. It's very attractive. The equipment is attractive, the outfit's attractive, the moves are attractive. So I would say it does attract all types of people. And the great thing about fencing is that there's no retirement. We have veteran fencers fencing all the way to their 70s. We also have disability fencers as well who are on wheelchairs. So it's really a sport for all.
Okay, now, and we know that so it's gaining momentum.
Yes.
But we are yet to see fencing in the youth games, the national youth games, and also the National Sport Festival. We know there's some sport in that category too. Archery and shooting, they've all done their trial exercise in the youth games and also in the nationals. When are we going to see fencing in the youth games as a trial sport, not a competitive sport? I was there when we had the trial sport for shooting at the youth games and some other sports. So when are we going to see fencing at the National Sport Festival and at the youth games? What effort is the Federation doing towards that?
I mean, definitely you're going to see fencing in the National Youth Games and in many more sporting events and with collaboration. Right now, our focus is on the 2024 Olympics. We've been growing organically to groom athletes in Nigeria, from Nigeria in Nigeria. We've also been trying to build up the grassroots community. We've aligned now with 9 of the 15 SDG UN initiatives. So it's really been an organic journey. I think from next year, we'll be looking at how we can collaborate with other platforms and how we can join other events to spread our awareness and to be more inclusive. But prior to that, our strategy is really just to groom athletes, create awareness, and give everybody the opportunity to fence.
Yeah, I foresee a future in fencing that we see foreign-born Nigerians representing us, just like what we have in football. Football now, everybody's looking for the Nigerian based over there, schooled over there, who is a good footballer, coming to represent us. Don't you think we also need, do you think that happening, that whoever is going to represent us in the future has to be somebody outside the country who probably must have been practicing fencing in UK, in America, representing us, rather than seeing more of the homegrown fencer you have seen? Is there going to be any difference between that?
Definitely not. We are very focused on our homegrown fencers. We are not excluding our fencers in diaspora. We do have them, but we're very proud to say that even for the 2022 Commonwealth, we had fencers from Nigeria go out to represent Nigeria, and we did very well. Also, 2 weeks ago, we had an international competition in Nigeria. We're the only country in sub-Saharan Africa to host such an event. Okay. And Nigeria won gold, and that was from a homegrown Nigerian. And those are world points, so recognized all over the world. So when it comes to fencing in Nigeria, I guarantee it's top quality. When our fencers who are from Nigeria go out to other countries, they're always applauded and respected for their great skills and their acumen in fencing. So we are legit, we are focused, and we're ensuring that we are world class on any stage.
Because of our time, 2 questions in one. Can you mention the communities that you've had that of fencing?
Yes, definitely. So we have brought fencing to Mushin, Apapa, Shomolu. Lagos Island is our biggest vicinity. We're moving to Epe soon. We've also been out of state as well to Port Harcourt, Ibadan, and Abeokuta. So the aim is really to spread across Nigeria, but Lagos has been our focus, and also Abuja as well.
Okay.
So yes.
Interesting, and I'm sure that before we know, you have a target for really making sure that fencing is well known? You give yourself a
Yes,
target?
yes. So we had a mandate for 10,000 fences in every state across Nigeria, and already in Lagos we're at 15,000 fences. So we've exceeded our first target, and we'll soon move on to other states. So that's really been our strategy to make sure that fencing is spread in the thousands. So we have a large community in Lagos, like I said, 15,000. We're trying to get more support to stabilize that and then move into another state, hopefully.
Yeah. Thank you very much. In few words, encourage people to be a fencer. How do you tend to do that?
I would definitely encourage you. I would say it for strength, for stability, and for smarts. Definitely try fencing.
Okay. Thank you very much, Richard Samuel.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
That's Richard Samuel, the Vice President of Nigerian Fencing Federation. They've done so much for fencing and to revive our fencing. So if you want to be a fencer, there's no problem. You could just continue the conversation on all our social media platforms. You can join us on YouTube, on Facebook, and Instagram for more on all you need to know about fencing. I'm Simu Dashioshitu. Thank you for watching. Same time tomorrow, we'll give you all what you need to know in the world of sport. Bye for now.